Hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. It is the 17th of December and Christmas is just round the corner. How are you doing, Shelley? It's just the two of us today. How are you doing?
Just the two of us. I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm not too bad. I'm just double checking. Yes, we have sounds.
Last week was a nightmare. Because I think for quite a while we were just talking.
We were just talking and yeah, no one actually said anything. So.
Nobody could hear us, but you can now, and we're here. And we're doing just a short show today, not a long one. We want to talk about mental health and Christmas. And we also just want to touch on, because we were just listening to the news that's come from the Old Bailey about Sarah Sheriff's. They've called them executioners.
Yes.
So we're going to have a little conversation about that. So before we do that, how are you doing, Shelley?
Yeah, I'm not so bad.
I asked you that.
Well, we started talking about it, and I was just like, I was just double checking. Yeah, not so bad. I think as I opened up last week's show, with my mental health and stepping back from things and just like looking after myself, I haven't had the need to like have the panic attacks or get agitated or angry. I've had a few tears over this last week, but nothing as big as what I have been like. So, but I have stepped back from doing like craft fairs and things, so that has then made a difference as well. I haven't prodded. Yeah, I've just kept everything kind of even, and yeah, the medication's now in and settled, and I think getting there.
Good.
How are you feeling, Cecile? Because you actually had quite a
I was a bit poorly.
Poorly, yes.
Yeah, it was a bit poorly. Not too bad now. Things are starting to, so again, medication has kind of kicked in, and got to go back again because they're going to continue to monitor. And I think the biggest thing for me is to remind myself and everybody else that because you have one diagnosis, which mine is fibromyalgia, it does not mean that every single thing is because of that.
Yes.
Because actually things go on for other reasons and you need to get them checked. If you've got a sudden pain that you really not had before and you don't know what's going on, go and get it checked. You know, it's and again also with the doctors you have to, I don't know, it's a bit potluck, isn't it? Because the one I had previously didn't really say much, didn't even make eye contact. The last one I had, thorough, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And is on the case. So, yeah. But other than that, yes, I'm not doing too bad. The weather, what is going on out there? Because it's very grey. Is that rain coming or something?
I don't think we've got rain coming. It's a bit breezy. It's not particularly cold, but it does look very grey, and it looks like it wants to do something, as the old saying goes. But yeah, nothing has actually come from it or anything.
Have we got snow? No, maybe not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Too soon. Next week.
Yeah.
Next week. On the 24th.
Driving around all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to snow. So we've got some information. We were going to talk last week about mental health and Christmas, and one of our lovely ladies, Georgina Williams, who does all of the baking and cooking and what have you, she'd put out a post about Christmas and presents and who you're buying them for. And all those ungrateful people, quite often it's your children, you know, that you're buying all these things for, and actually why are you doing that? So if you haven't finished your shopping, just think about that before you spend X amount of pounds on people that may not even need the things that you're buying. The things ask if there's something they need. Ask if there's something they specifically would like to have, rather than getting a whole load of stuff. Yeah. But that did make me chuckle, the whole ungratefulness. And it's like we have it in our head. We have it in our head. We think about that, but yet we still go and do the total opposite and spend loads and loads and loads.
You do go into a whole rabbit hole of, if I've bought for them, I've got to buy for them, and I've got to buy for them, or I'm buying for them because they'll buy for me.
Yeah.
And quite often it's something that is a thing that, oh yeah, it's kind of nice, but it's that little thing and all the other extra bits and pieces that can add up.
Yeah.
And if you haven't got that much money, because it always is that it's a long time to your next payday in January. But as things have fallen this year, it's a long time.
Oh God, is it even longer?
Yeah, the way that it has, that you've obviously got like your December pay, which is fine, but it's how everything's then fallen, that it's a bit
I didn't even look that far ahead. I don't want to know, to be fair.
Someone else said that to me, because I didn't look. It was just that someone said it. So
and that, and you have to kind of remember that, because otherwise you're putting yourself into those situations where you're spending all that money. As people have said so many times, it's just a roast dinner.
Yes,
Christmas Day is just a roast dinner.
It's not like even way back when I was a kid that you would be closed on weekends naturally anyway for shops. You get your supermarket kind of shops kind of open just on a Saturday morning kind of thing, and they'd be definitely closed on Sunday, and then they would have their own Christmas closure. We don't have that now.
No.
We are open all the time. You do not need to have that, I need to buy the food for the week anymore.
But I don't even think people do the food for the week. I think they do the food for the month to be eaten on those 2 days.
Yeah.
Hello, Rita. Hello, Dee. Yeah, I think people buy. And I'm guilty. I am guilty of doing that. But then I will also freeze and then have that. So what leftovers we have on Christmas Day, I will then freeze that, and we will have that on New Year's Day. Because I'm not going out again to buy more when I've got leftovers already. So I'm not doing that. But other people, you're going out and you're shopping like this day is never ending.
Yeah.
Why?
We, in our family, it's changed a bit now, because like the nieces are now older and they've got their own kids, and the kids are themselves are teenagers. But we always used to have like different traditions and doing different bits and pieces, and I think we all kind of do the same thing now in our own homes, but not together like we were before.
Yeah.
Like I will always have Bubble and Squeak on Boxing Day.
Okay.
There was a competition in our family to do Bubble and Squeak. My dad and my brother-in-law at the time would say which one was the best bubble and squeak. And that just used to be like a family tradition, a joke kind of thing. Now, way back then, when I was working in the call centre, I would say to anyone, I will work your Christmas Day if you do my Boxing Day. Because to me, Boxing Day was different. Boxing Day was then different. You could all have your time with your children. I don't have children, so I'm quite happy. We're going into work Christmas Day, but you give me my Boxing Day, because that would be the day that we would muck around and do all that kind of stuff. But coming from an older family, won't buy all this extra food or anything. I never ever buy extra food. And if it is extra food, you're having it as leftovers, and that's exactly what Boxing Day and squeak was. But then it did get to the point where we would buy extra vegetables and put them on in the afternoon the day before to make sure we got enough of bubble and squeak. But
it's just kind of just letting people know that it is just a roast dinner. Somebody said to me yesterday, and they just said, but it's over very quickly. And it's over very quickly now for all the reasons that you've just shared as to why the shops are not open, why the shops are open. Because years ago, when we were small, the shops would be closed. Christmas lasted a whole lot longer. Whereas now, Boxing Day, those shops are open.
You'll be back to normal. Like call centres were never open. Now they are. Shops are open, so people are going back to work. You did used to have a whole shutdown. Everyone completely shut down for the whole week, because it then go all the way through to New Year. And you could have all those different family days around different people. I always remember that all the time. That whole week, it wouldn't be all your presents on one day, because you'd be going round to different members of the family and stuff all the way through that week. So it's a lot of pressure that people do put on themselves. One of the posts I did put on, and any posts that I'm finding, I'm putting directly on the Simply D's page. There is one that I shared yesterday, I believe it was, that just says just how to cope at Christmas. It's like, it's just one day, it's just one roast dinner. It's just the whole point of it is being with family.
Family or friends, or your chosen family?
Chosen family, yes. And whether you decide to put Christmas tree up or not, it's down to you. If you want to make yourself feel Christmassy, I mean, I don't particularly feel Christmassy at the minute. I've got no decorations up. I've got plenty of decorations that I could put up. I've got loads of toys and things that I've got that I could put up. I actually went to Sainsbury's the other day, and it's got Christmas music playing so much, like all the way through. So many people around, and I must admit, I did come out of Sainsbury's and just kind of, I've had enough. I bought what I needed to, not that I bought anything extra. Because it was just, I need to get out. The only thing I did get, that I do every year.
Oh my God, do you go through it with a fine-tooth comb and find every film or whatever
my marker pen, and I tick it all off. I can do it on my phone. I can get all the stuff on the phone and tick and send it direct to the box, but it's not the same as sitting there and ticking it off. But I don't think I've done much else.
Have you looked through it yet?
I had a quick flick through. I had a flick through at the front, because it then gives you like the highlights of particular things. And there are some very, very different type of programs this year, I would say. Like specials and all that kind of stuff. But there is a lot that's kind of like going on. And of course, Gavin and Stacey, I think that would be my thing this year, Gavin and Stacey.
It's not my thing, really.
See,
Gavin and Stacey. I've never watched it. And I think I'm one of the only people in the world that's never watched it.
I think for me, because I got the whole Welsh London thing, even though it was North Wales, we've got a Welsh London thing in our family.
Yeah.
I think I started to watch it because of that. Then I realised it was Cardiff based, and I've got my best friend that lives in Cardiff, so I got their humour. So for me, I can understand where the humour comes from, and where it was all to do with. But
so hello, Sparky Melody. There was a peaceful element about Christmas past, because I think, like you were saying, about the shops being closed and there's no call centres and all of that thing. So there was time to just take your time over those days. You know, a leftover was actually a leftovers, as opposed to, I could pop to Tesco's and get something else.
Yes,
There wasn't anything open. Even your corner shop wasn't open.
Yeah, because even to the point of back at, if you think, when I was at the cash and carry, so I started the cash and carry when I got married, so it was 99. We used to have a core lot of corner shops that we used to do an emergency pack thing for them. So they, as a corner shop, because they weren't celebrating Christmas as such, because of their religion, they would stay. All our local corner shops would stay open, and they would have the emergency pack kind of shopping trolley thing that we made up. So it'd be that they would made sure they had toilet rolls, that they had like your cranberry sauce, those kind of sauces. We used to do special deals on sweets, because because at that point it was, you're out on a bike, kids have got new bikes, you're out. Yep. Oh, the corner shop's open. We'll pop in the corner shop, bottle of pop, couple of sweets, then we'll go home, kind of thing. So we did this emergency list because they would be the only shops that were then being open. As a reminder to our shopkeepers, it might not be anything like a paper shop wouldn't necessarily have these items, but they would have these items for Christmas. And the idea was they would buy the trolley and then they could return back anything that they didn't use.
Oh, okay.
So that was a thing that we did. That's what the thing that we did at the cash and carry. But even at 99, in 1999, there wasn't that many big shops opening.
No, so no. A few years I think that's over the years, hasn't it? That has then increased from possibly closing Christmas Day, Boxing Day, to now the big ones are just closed on Christmas Day. And the rest of them are then open on Boxing Day. And obviously, if anybody, I buy a lot of clothes in Next, but you will never find me on Boxing Day at stupid o'clock in a queue to go in there, ever, because that is not even a thing. No. But people are in there.
The only time I've got up for anything like that to go shopping for a particular thing was when Harry Potter books used to come out, and I never used to get in the queue at the bookshop. Me and my mate would go up to that stuff, just walk in, get it off the pallet, buy it, and then get to go home. It's like not getting any queues. That'd be stupid. Just for, but there are people that is part of their.
It is. I know it is. Yeah.
They go shopping beforehand, knowing what things could possibly go down in a sale and working out how much they've.
But most of the time, the stuff that's going on in some shops is the stuff that they've got out the back. It's not the stuff that's on the shelf at the minute.
No.
You know, it's not the clothes that are actually there in the store right now. It's the stuff that they've got from last season. But anyway, I think, that's not. I think I've done one sale once and we went about midday. There's no hope. There's no hope for me getting up at that time to just go and stand out there and queue up and get a whole load of stuff that I'm not going to wear.
We've done a Christmas Eve in a supermarket, and that literally was just to see what got reduced.
Yeah,
it wasn't like we needed to go shopping. It was a bit bored. Should we just go? Yeah, okay. That's mean about all over for you though, but so we ended up in the middle, and we ended up coming back with trifles.
Oh,
things I remember.
Okay.
But yeah, it just had to get rid of. They just had to get rid of stock. So yeah,
Exactly. So this is a really important one.
Yes.
I'm clicking on it and it's messing around. Right. Don't forget to check your meds and get your repeat prescriptions in, because you've got 2 days where they're going to be closed, maybe a third, depending. But you've got at least 2 days, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, they're going to be closed. And you need to make sure that you've got your medication. Getting some bits in for like cold therapies, painkillers, upset stomachs because of the amount of food that you've eaten, because you've eaten as much as 2 roast dinners in the one day. Get those things in, so you've got them in the cupboard. Yes, I know that there's going to be there are little shops that are open, but most of those are in specific areas. So in Thundern Park, I'm pretty sure we don't have a little shop open on Christmas Day. Don't think so. Maybe the Nissa, but I'm not sure. But ultimately, just get them in. Get them in so you've got them, and get your repeat prescriptions in as well, and in time. Because if they get sent from the GP to the pharmacy and the pharmacy haven't done them before they then close, they will be closed.
That's good, yeah.
They will be closed. So you need to get those in. And then obviously on our page, there is lots of information, isn't there?
Yeah.
About different things that are there for the kids. Have you got a bit of a...
Yeah, so you doing a couple of posts at the minute. So where I've been reposting them, I'm actually going to share, so it'll end up being on one post. So there'll be stuff that you could do with the kids. So we've got the Illuminate in Stockwood Park. You've got the pantos that are then on there, because you've got the Grove, you've got the Library Theatre. The Library Theatre is actually putting on some of the old cinema things as well.
Right.
Cineworld were putting on some bits and pieces. Apparently, they put the Christmas film,
which is what?
Die Hard.
Okay.
On the 23rd of December. Yeah, my mate posted about that last night, and I was thinking, yeah, I might go and watch that. But
what's that, Sunday? Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah. So it'll be one post that will have all the events and that kind of thing that you can do with the kids, and then I'm going to do another post because there's a lot that are out there that are doing home help, the warm hub cafes, the if you need to sign up for Christmas dinners. There's another one that was Christmas phone friends thing, so you can sign up you can actually then have a phone call as part of Christmas Day. That's a national thing that I saw. So there'll be 2 posts that will just have all the lists of different things that are then going on, because there is a lot that is out there that people don't realize what's actually then going on. I mean, things like the Irish Forum, they're always doing stuff, they're always posting out there, and it's open to everyone. But you get some people say, "Oh, I didn't realise that was happening," and it was like, well, yeah, if you're not looking in a certain place, you're not then seeing it, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, like Dee said, there's lots of organisations and people that are doing free dinners over the Christmas period for those in need. It's you don't have to be on your own.
No.
You know, Salvation Army do one as well, don't they? That people who are on their own can then go and have their dinner there. So it's not only for people who are possibly homeless or having a really difficult time. It's also for those who are just literally on their own and don't want to be on their own.
Because you don't realise just how much that sort of like the grief side of things pops up at Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to it's always going to come up with big things. But for Christmas, I mean, even like traumas and things, like, I suppose I wasn't going to talk about anything like this, but like, even for me, where I've said earlier on, sort of, I don't have children of my own, there is always that pang at Christmas.
Yeah.
What could have been, like, you've been around other people's kids, a big smile on your face and whatever. So it does take a lot out of you. And even then, you just need someone just sort of switch off from that quite often.
Yeah.
So all of that is a part of a grief process as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's, yeah, to have these organisations out there that have got people around. So I know it's difficult to speak to your friends and family sometimes, because you think, oh, are they going to question what I say, or not understand what I'm saying, or anything else, or you don't want to bring them down, kind of thing. It's something that you do need to speak to someone.
Yeah.
Whether that be online, because there's the helplines that are then on there, that the description of the show, and I think it should end up in the comments. You don't have to have a phone call. So Samaritans is a phone call, but they do have an email service. It's not picked up straight away, but they have got an email service. Shout is set up originally for kids, because that's the easiest way to do it, because it's a text messaging service.
Yeah.
85258, if you look down, that's the way the number goes on your keypad. So that being a text service, but Shout has got so many other different bits and pieces that are involved with it. It can be for adults too, because you just want to text to someone. You've got other ones that are out there that are just then web-based chatbots, but it's not actually going to a bot, it's going to a person.
Yeah.
But if you're finding that you want to do MSN kind of chatting, WhatsApp kind of chatting, and I think if you want to speak to your family and your friends, sometimes that could be the easiest way of doing it, is writing it down. You might find that you'll write it down and then write it down again and write it down again, and then send that third version. But it's kind of getting it out of your system in a way that you can get it all out without being either interrupted, or you get yourself worked up or upset or anything as you're trying to explain it. It's so much easier doing it that way.
Yeah.
Following up with a phone call.
So just a reminder then for everybody, go and have a look on our page. There's lots of information that's going to be on there. A lot of support that's out there, ready for Christmas and during those specific days as well. There are people that you can talk to, whether that is a phone call, whether that's a text message, an email, a WhatsApp. There is support out there. So just before we move,
I was about to say, there was with the mental health thing, I did, as part of all the other bits and pieces that I do training and stuff on, there's a thing called 8 minutes, and it's just 8 minutes of talking with someone or being with someone. So they don't have to really be talking. There's a lot that can become from you being silent with someone. An 8-minute walk is the time when things are allowed to go through the whole process of then actually then coming out. So if I've said this before on this show, that me and my best mate, there is just like a couple of words we can say to one another, and it's like, oh crap, yeah, I haven't actually spoken to her, or like she's worried about me, and vice versa. Yeah. And it's just that one whip of, yeah, come on. For what they're then saying was like are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Or how are you out of 10 is another one that's then drawing out a conversation. This one is, can I have 8 minutes? And it's like, no, this person actually really needs to talk. So that's it. Yeah, if you Google, anyone wants to Google that, they can actually see the science behind that out there as well.
Wow. So, Sparky Melody said the Sunday Trading Act first came into force in July 1994, allowing large shops to open for 6 consecutive hours between 10 and 6. And this changed Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because it did Christmas and Easter.
Yeah.
2 days that were added on to that.
But anyway, Christmas is Christmas, you know. We are of an age where we remember the shops were closed, but they're not now. They're open. So yeah. Before we finish, just before we came started the show, we was listening to the report regarding Sarah Sheriff's murder.
Yeah.
And it's not easy listening, is it?
No, he's doing his closing remarks at the moment. His sentencing remarks, I should say, sorry. He started talking just before 12 and he is now still talking.
Yeah.
It's I know he has to go over the actual case itself. That's the reasoning behind that why he needs to actually do the specific sentencing and everything else, and his thoughts through that as well. So it's not just I'm going to give you this sentence, yeah, bye kind of thing. They do have to, in the Old Bailey, go through everything. But he has actually gone through a lot, and I thought we might have actually have got some kind of sentence come up. The way he's talking, they're all getting life.
Yeah.
But as he said, because of the charges against them, their minimum term might come up as being quite low. But what he was trying to remind people was that that is the minimum term before they go before a parole board. Doesn't mean that would be their last, like their first point of actually coming out. But as they've shown no remorse all the way through this, I can't see how in 10, 15, 20 years time that they're actually going to show any remorse then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
It's a torture. The whole thing was torture. She had the problem with her, like the mum.
Yeah.
Where it was in his care. And then it just carried on. And as we heard just before we came live, that how many kids were actually in the family, and 2 of them were autistic, and they were
6 children.
6 children, twins being autistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to actually have all of that, like go on, it's just, yeah, it is absolutely horrendous. And as I said, there was no remorse, even though that what they were charged with was reduced down, so it wasn't then a murder. It was then diminished responsibilities and all that kind of stuff, and it was like, really, okay. He's still talking.
Yeah, because I think he's from what I heard earlier, he sounds like he wants to. I know he's got to do it as his job, but he wants to press the point, and he wants to share exactly how he has come to this decision and what has then happened to contribute to that. I don't know. So it's another child. And I don't know how many times we will hear about lessons learned, and another one that's kind of slipped through the net again, because we hear that every single time.
Yeah.
a child has then died at the hands of family members.
Yeah.
Every time, lessons learned. Are we learning any lessons?
I mean, it's sort of they made that change because they wanted to try and keep families together. And in some cases, yes, that's what was then needed. But yeah, for this to go from one to the other, it's just absolutely horrendous. Absolutely
It
horrendous.
is. And I think, and again, with this one, you know, the school reported because they saw bruises on her face. And then she was then taken out of school and was homeschooled.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that even happen? That all of a sudden you can then homeschool? And also with homeschooling, so why weren't they doing the checks before that was allowed to take place? Yeah. And again, that's another child and an older one.
Yeah.
Because quite often these children have been much younger.
Yes.
She's 10.
Yeah. Yeah, she's quite a bit older, and I can only assume because there were so many kids, because the two of them were autistic, that I got a feeling that she was. It just sounds as though that she was just a slave at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Told to do everything. Yeah. And that's all of it. That's all it then feels that she's, because she is that bit older. As I'm sort of watching BBC News, and it keeps coming up with some of the different things that the judge is then saying. He says that he wants everything of her trauma. It's hard, but he wants all the details out there.
Good.
Because it's horrendous what you think sort of like that the kids can then go through.
It's and sometimes, and I just think each time it's like you hear it and again you don't believe it, because it's like, how could that happen?
Yeah.
And I just think, and I know it's most probably it's very easy for me to just say this, but if you don't want your children, give them to social services.
Yeah.
There's many people out there who want to adopt them. If they're too much for you, or I don't know, because sometimes we hear that there's a new person coming into that relationship. So one of them is the parent and then the other one is the step parent.
Yeah.
If you think that step parent is doing something, you need to be saying something.
Yeah.
And I know there's fear and there's all of that goes on as well in some situations. But this one, there's 3 of them involved in that.
Yes. Yeah.
Mum, stepdad and uncle. Or is it dad?
It's the dad, stepmum and uncle.
Dad, stepmum and uncle. Yeah.
It was the mum that she got taken away from her mum and put in her dad's care because she'd actually then said something was happening with her mum.
So take her from one, put her with the other.
And then circumstances that whatever happened in that relationship, I presume when the other children came along, it all just then kicked off.
Yeah. It's not easy listening.
No.
It's not easy reading either, but I would just hope that people actually go and have a look at it. Listen to what's been said, read what's been said, see where the judge, you know, what he's been saying. It's because we can't keep doing this.
No. There's so many things that people don't understand what's going on, so they almost like want to be blinkered from it. They can't understand how that could happen, so not look into it. The same with sort of like adults going through abuse, whether that be coercion, whether that be physical abuse in a relationship, both men and women, because they replayed last night on the 24 hours in police custody, the Luton guy.
Right.
That was domestic violence at home, and he still went back to her.
Yeah.
That can happen. People don't realise that does happen. Women can be that bad that they lash out at their men. And people still can't get their head around that can happen.
Yeah.
But they can almost blinker to it, and then if something was to come up, it's like, oh yeah, but, and it like, actually no, yeah, but.
I think that's the thing now, is we need to stop saying the but.
Yeah.
Because actually it is happening. It happens to children, it happens to adults, and I don't know what the statistics are, but actually with regards to children, it's men and women, it's the mum and dad. Yeah. This is not just a one sex thing going on here. It is both are doing this, and there's more and more evidence of men in domestic abuse situations as well. There's so it's all sexes are involved. So and I don't know.
It can look completely different as well, because when you start going down that route as well, it's coercion.
Yeah,
is a form of domestic abuse.
Yeah,
and people don't see that, and that could be more the women against the men doing that, playing the men along. And then you get the whole thing of like the children being involved with it. Oh no, you shouldn't do that because of this and that and the other, and I'll take my children away from you, and all this kind of stuff. That is a version of domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Oh, you should be looking after me. That you go out to work and then you come home and then you do this and then you do that because you need to look after me, because I'm looking after the house, I'm looking after the children. That is another form of domestic abuse. Yeah. And the people don't see that.
So we're going to end now because Shelley's got things to do.
Well, I'm looking after my mental health. I'm going for a walk with a friend. So
there you go.
Yes.
There you go. And if there's and that kind of just feeds into Christmas. If you are able to go out for a walk, whether it's Christmas Day, Boxing Day, any day, whatever day it is, go for a walk. Get some, just get some of that adrenaline out. Just have that walk. We have greenery around.
A lot.
We have a lot of greenery around, and you don't need to have a dog to go and do that. You can just go for a walk.
Anyone could borrow mine if they want. Little gift.
No, I've seen how he barks and it's just someone walking past the house. No, I don't think I'd be able to.
He's quite happily just sitting here laying next to me.
Yeah, for now. But 5 minutes before we started, he's barking at whoever's walking past. He can't even see who's walking past and he's barking. No. Anyway, so you don't need the dog to go for a walk, but that if you can go for a walk with a friend, with a family member, or just go for a walk yourself and put some music on.
Someone if they can't come out, spend some time on the phone with them, going for a walk around the block or whatever.
Exactly.
They can taking that time out, de-stressing, clearing your head. Yeah, it makes all the difference.
We'll be back next week. A last one just before Christmas. I might even have a Christmas jumper on.
Woohoo!
Maybe.
I'll have to do something, won't I?
No, Christmas jumper's easier.
There'll be no decorations out anywhere around the room. It'll just be the bit behind me here.
Yeah, just that little bit there. We will see you next week. Look after yourselves. We will be back at 12 noon. And don't go and spend a whole load of money over the rest of the week. You don't need to spend all your money, because you need that for the January that's going to last 50 weeks.
50 weeks, yeah.
Right. See you all. Bye.